Hello there and welcome to episode 5 of my Total Extreme Wrestling 2020 save, where we come and take on the Forbidden Door, Impact Wrestling, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and All Elite Wrestling. In today's episode we have the second edition of Impact, which also gives us an update onto previous week's BTI, which is a name which, again, I will be changing. Let me know in the comments down below a name I could change it to. But the BTI is quite simple. We did a battle royale for the Digital Media Championship, which is going to be the main title of our B show. And it was quite a good intergender battle royale. We had promos before the match with two of the big social media related characters. We've got Cardona and Green and Caleb and Tennille. Quite big social media related characters there. And the Battle Royale also had Black Taurus, Falaba, Hernandez, Jake Something, Josh Alexander, Caleb Madison Rain, Matt Rowalt, No Way, ODB, PT Williams, Rachel Ellering, Steve Macklin, Tasha Steele, Tennille Dashwood, Kazakh, William Morrissey, Willie Mack, and Zicky Dice. A wild variety of people, talent in that match, and it was won by Matt Cardona. Because of course it was. It's basically the internet title. Who better than the man who made that thing relevant in the first place? Matt Cardona is the Digital Media Champion. But so let's see how we do in the actual Impact again. From the Impact Zone. Well, we kick off Impact from the Impact Zone by introducing you to the new Impact commentary team. Tom Hannafin and Mauro Ranallo. Of course, Tom Hannafin, the former Tom Phillips. He is coming in to lead up our Impact commentary team with Mauro Ranallo. They're going to work together, both doing both colour and play-by-play. And I hope the two of them will work really well together. It's a 43 for announcing them, and we continue on to the X Division tournament, and we'll be revealing who the mystery participant is today. First though, we get Trey Miguel defeating Laredo Kid in 17 minutes 21 with the Yoshi Tonic, which puts him through to the semi-finals of the X Division title tournament. Gets 46 for Miguel and a 48 for Laredo Kid. So Kid was actually the higher performer in this match. Overall gets a 45. And now the fourth quarterfinal. See Chris Sabin lose to Samurai Del Sol. The former Kalisto is in Impact Wrestling. Samurai Sol comes in, gets a 49 rating to Sabin's 47. So right person to win, and Samurai Soul goes through to the semi-final with a Rising Sun, which is basically the Salida del Sol, but it's just now called the Rising Sun, which is Salida del Sol in English, isn't it? 45 rating. We're going to go backstage to Gallows and Anderson berating Scott D'Amore, and making a very good point actually. Last week on Impact, Anderson pinned the Impact World Champion Christian Cage. Surely that puts Anderson next in line for an Impact World title shot. And Scott D'Amore's contemplating it, but he'll be going through a number one contenders match later, a fatal four-way number one contenders match to decide whether he will face Christian Cage for the Impact World Championship at Bound for Glory. Bound for Glory is our next show, right? Yeah, Bound for Glory. We're going to get Bobby Fish hype up. He turned up in AEW on the first episode of this series in the anniversary show. He turns up here, and he is going to be a permanent member of the Impact Wrestling roster. He's going to make his in-ring debut next week. We're going to get a tag team match as Finjuice of Taguchi Japan take on Bullet Club's Chris Bay and Ace Austin. They don't work well together as a team. not actually in the actual standings, but like in the storyline, they've never teamed together before, whereas Finjuice have been teaming for a long time, so naturally Finjuice pick up the win when Juice Robinson pins Ace Austin with Pulp Friction, which gives, well, for Finjuice the upper hand in this Bullet Club versus technically Taguchi Japan feud, which hasn't rolled over yet into New Japan. It probably will though. Then get the Knockouts division as Su Yung defeats Mercedes Martinez in 15 minutes 58 seconds with Yellow Fever. It's a 40 rating, not too bad. They didn't click though, which is a little disappointing, and I feel like both of them would have had better ratings and overall would have been better with other opponents. Matt Cardona issues an open challenge to anyone on Aftershock. That's the current temporary name I might be using. Again though, let me know in the comments if you have any better ideas. And he issues an open challenge to anyone for the Digital Media Championship. As I said, that's just going to be the title, which is used over there. And our Fatal 4-Way main event sees Karl Anderson defeat Brian Cage, Bandido, and I forgot to change his name, so Tyler Breeze. It shouldn't be Tyler Breeze though, we'll change that for next week. That's a big mistake on my part. But 3 big people coming in to the Impact main event scene, and I'm excited to see them, how they affect this title picture. Karl Anderson though is the #1 contender to the Impact World Championship and will be fighting Christian Cage at Bound for Glory. How will his tag team commitments affect that though? We'll all find out in the next episode. So overall, how did that do? We get a 54, which has increased our pop in 33 regions. A good, solid show. Next week, we're building up to Bobby Fish debuting. Great. And we've got a X Division semi-finals, probably, which will be, Samurai Joe Sol versus Trey Miguel, and Christopher Daniels versus Frankie Kazarian. All that on next week's episode of Impact, which is a couple of episodes away. Who knows? I'll see you then, though.